Welcome to the Unstoppable Leadership Spotlight, influential leaders and their game-changing insights. I'm Jaclyn, CEO and founder of Leap to Your Success. That's leaptoyoursuccess.com. We help entrepreneurs, leaders, and CEOs grow their business, become unstoppable high achievers in their careers and life, gaining that 1% edge. We believe every professional has the power within them to leap to their greatest success that not only will impact their life, but the lives of the people they touch. So stick around to the end of the show and we will share with you how you can be our next guest. So stick around for those 15 to 20 minutes and let's be unstoppable. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Unstoppable Leadership Spotlight podcast, where we hear from influential leaders and their game-changing insights. I'm Jaclyn, your host, and today I want to welcome our amazing guest, Barry LaBov. And a little background on Barry, besides being a marketing maven, he is the founder of LaBov and Beyond and has been focused on one word, differentiation. I can't even say the word today. And he has a proprietary brand of re-engineering process that has discovered and maximized the magic in his clients' brands. He has an amazing book, The Power of Differentiation, and it tells a great story: win hearts, minds, and market share. And that's exactly what his team does. And I cannot wait for you guys to hear his game-changing insights. Welcome to the show, Barry, and I'm so grateful to have you here.
Jaclyn, thank you very much. I think you're great. I love your energy. I think we're going to have a lot of fun today.
No, you're definitely going to have a lot of fun. So before we talk about your, where you got into marketing and all that stuff, I'd love to hear a little bit about your story, because no matter where we start, leadership is part of that journey. So tell us how your journey into this, because you're leading a great team.
I am leading a great team. I'm very fortunate for that. I never wanted to lead. I never wanted to be in business. I never wanted to sell. So I grew up wanting to play music. So I was a musician growing up. I had a band with my brother. I ended up having a few songs that were successful. I was a songwriter for a few years. And lo and behold, Jaclyn, I was leading a small business called a band. And that's what it was all about. And it influenced the way I run my company. And when you're in a band, you have 3 or 4 other people, and they're not perfect, and they can't do everything just great. But if you're lucky, they have 1 or 2 areas of talent, and you have to focus on those areas. And that's what I started to do. So I did that. I then began a business, which was maybe 30 plus years ago. And from that point, I've been able to be in marketing, advertising, training, and I work with clients that include Harley Davidson, Audi, and Mercedes-Benz, and some really great companies that we all have heard, and some really wonderful companies that are smaller businesses. So it's great. And as you said, I focus on one word: differentiation. And it's all about finding what is unique, what's special, what is distinct, and celebrating it.
First of all, I love that. There's so many different things I want to talk to you about right now, because what you said about leading a band and not wanting to lead. So my first question is, was there a turning point or something that was like an aha moment for you where you realized, oh, I'm leading this, that changed your perspective?
I've had a few of them. One was I had been working with a client and helping them doing mostly marketing and audio programs. So it almost would be like music, Jaclyn, but it was audio. It was cassette tapes way back then. And they came to me and they asked me to take over their marketing and advertising, which is an area that I was not that comfortable with. And I said no. I gave them the names of other companies in the area and I said, please call them up and good luck. Long story short, they kept calling me and saying, I want you to take this over, Barry. And I said no. Finally, one day, and this was a turning point, they called me and said, look, we want you to become a marketing advertising agency, and we want to give you all our business. And I said, I keep pointing you to other people and companies. Why do you come back to me? And they said, because we trust you. And I went, oh. So I said, okay. Now, the turning point for me was I had avoided doing it. It was uncomfortable to be a full service, totally committed advertising agency. And it had a lot of downsides for me. But you know what? I realized that my talent wasn't just music. It was being creative, and it was working with people such as those clients. And they actually thought I was of value. They thought I was good. So that changed everything for me.
I love that because they obviously saw something. There's leadership there. They saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself. And I think that's one of the quintessential aspects of leadership. And then you get to see and do the same thing for others. You get to pull out what other people don't see in themselves to bring out their greatness.
I love that you said that. Very few people have identified that, but that's what happened. And it's funny, I was in my 20s, late 20s at the time, and these people from the other company, they were old guys. They must have been 40 years old. Oh my gosh, how long do they have left? And they saw something in me. I don't know what, but they saw something. And it's what you said, Jaclyn. It's what I see in others. It's the same thing. They saw something, they valued it, they rewarded it, and it inspired me.
And that whole finding out what other people's greatness is, it's actually also part of marketing and advertising, right? You're finding out the greatness of a product or a service, and you use that to help promote and share, like sell that product. So it's another way to look at that leadership. So do you feel that you bring that out when you're working with your clients? You find the greatness in their products and services?
That's what my job is. I look for their uniqueness. I don't try to I don't try to create what they are. I discover. My team comes in to unlock, to push away some of the garbage around something and go, wait a minute, there's something magical here. Let's look at it. You think about it, I work with companies that have been in business for 100 years and they have a real bad self-image and they think they're not that good. And I'm going, okay, you've been through 2 world wars, not 1, but 2 pandemics, and you've been able to survive. You must be doing something relatively well. And that's what I look for. I look for and discover what they do that's great. And then the goal is let's really identify it. Let's name it. Let's honor it. Let's tell its story. And again, talking about people, let's celebrate it with the most important people first, which would be their employees, their team, so that they feel part of it. They feel they're doing something of value. It's a very inspirational, positive experience.
What you just said, it just like makes my heart sing. What you just said was that you share it with the most important people first, which is the team. And I think that's something that a lot of leaders forget about in some ways, that they're first and foremost, their first customer, the first person, the first people that need to adopt something are their team members, which are their employees, the people that they're part, like those are the people, because they're the ones, if they can embody it and capture that vision, they're going to be selling it and promoting it automatically. And then it just becomes part of who they are.
And what you're saying, some people are saying, oh, Jaclyn's just sounding all crazy about that. That's nuts. It's so positive. No, it's true, because your people are the ones who are creating your product in some cases. They're certainly producing your product. In many cases, they're the one representing your product or service to your customers. If they believe and they actually think what they're doing is important, your customers feel it. Yeah. But if your people feel like, look, I'm just pushing a chain up a hill, it's nothing. If I can get a job elsewhere for 10 cents more an hour, I'm leaving. Your customers feel it as well. And the one thing I do think with the leaders, I don't think leaders are necessarily unintelligent or bad because they're not seeing the value in celebrating it with employees. I think it's because they have lots of pressures on them and they're thinking logically, which is, okay, I'm paying these people. They know that they have a job. Okay, I've taken care of them. Now I got to go get more business. And we just have to stop for a minute and think like humans and realize we're going to get pressures from everywhere. So let's make sure the most important people are really engaged and that we have an army behind us that says, let's go.
Yeah, God, that's beautiful. I love that. And it's true. I feel like I talk about it all the time where that when you're a CEO or a VP, or it doesn't even matter what your title is really, but if you've got one, two, three, or four people that you're leading, you need to share that vision and mission with everybody and know what everybody else, where they sit with that, and treat people like humans. And we need to be human. Uh, and something you said I want to go back to is that you said that you work with some of these companies that have been around for 100 years, and it's almost like they have survived through a lot, but yet at the same time, they almost, like what you said, it seemed like they almost have the imposter syndrome. I can't believe we've gotten here despite ourselves. So when you're going through that with your clients, how do you help them really get beyond that imposter, or what steps you take, or what insights do you give them besides just telling them what you've survived?
I listen to the words they use because words create worlds. And many times the clients are talking about themselves and it's not very flattering. The first chapter, for example, in my book is entitled, Would You Buy Your Own Product or Service? Because I'm sitting in meetings and I'm listening to clients, and I did one time, and it's in the book, I did turn to the leadership group and say, hey, I've been listening to you for the last 20 minutes, and I just have one question. Would any of you buy your product? And it was dead silence. And then the leader said, that's a compelling question. And the point is, I try to have them listen to themselves. They need to hear the words they're using. Are they using words like just? We're just another blah, blah, blah. Or the word legacy. We're a legacy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, oh my gosh. If we say, oh, we're a local such and such. Okay, I don't want to hear local. I don't want to hear just. I don't want to hear legacy. Tell me one or two things you're doing that are unique. And Jaclyn, one of my secrets that I share, and I'm happy to share with your audience, is that do not confuse being different or unique, let's say, with being superior. You don't have to be superior. You can have very strong competitors and still have differentiation. There are many products out there that have their own quirky look or own quirky feel, and you love them. And they're competing with something else that's every bit as good in its own way, but you know what? You affiliate with that brand. That's called differentiation. So it's not, hey, I've got to be perfect. There is a reason I'm doing what I'm doing. And this time, instead of ignoring it and diminishing it, I'm going to actually honor it, and we're going to name it, and we're going to talk about it.
That reminds me of what we always need to share with, I think, and as a reminder to everybody, which is, it's not about the scarcity. We have to think of abundance, and that there are so many people around, whether it's the same product or service. We don't need every single human being to purchase your product. You have to get the right people to love it. And take cups and mugs. How many different mugs do we have? And some of them are super successful, right? So it's knowing that what you're bringing to the table, you have to be excited about it and know that you're going to attract the right people to your product using the right words. And words are so important.
We have 200,000 words in the English language. And if you think about it, you ask somebody about their brand, their product, their company, their service, they're going to use almost all the same words. We're a value product. We have great service. Prices are great. Quality's high. We've got great people. Okay, if you get rid of the garbage that they say, and that's going to come down to 5 to 20 words, most of them say nothing. They all say the same thing. So I really urge clients to look at what you do, and identify the right word. I was in a meeting with a client and it inspired me because they were talking about their core values and we were going back and forth. And most of the time, think about the core values. We have integrity. We have our people. Anyway, they said a word and I had never heard it in a core value statement, and it was rigor. They said, we have rigor. And I went, wow, I love it. Rigor. Rigor just gives me this vision of, hey, we're going to keep going and we want it to be done right.
Is up, right?
Right. It's rigor as opposed to quality. Okay.
Or grit.
But grit. Yeah, I love it. And so think of the one or two words that might be unique. That's why my company focuses on one word that's very hard to pronounce, differentiation, but that's our word. We own it. I'll sit down with clients and I'll go, there are other companies out there that do branding. We are the only one that focuses entirely on differentiation. If you feel you already have that figured out, we're not any good for you. Because like you said, Jaclyn, we can't try to sell everybody. I used to wake up when I started my business and I thought, God, I got to make 1 million sales and I got to do this and that. And then finally, I started to wake up to the reality that, no, if I can get one sale in the next few days or one new client in the next month or two, that's good. I don't want 100 clients because I wouldn't have the time to do a good job working for them. So I have to look at, okay, then who are the right clients? And then that gets back to, okay, what am I doing that's unique that would be appreciated by those kinds of clients? That's how we do it.
That is really fantastic. So Barry, tell me, as a leader and as somebody who has obviously great marketing, great advertising, what type of legacy do you want to leave as a leader?
The legacy I want to leave is the same, whether it's with my family, my grandkids, my wife, my children, my brother, etc., as it is with my clients, my employees, my community. And that is, I want to be viewed as a person that saw the magic in others. So I saw the magic and appreciated it and celebrated it in others, whether it was when I was a guy coaching little leaguers, they're 9 years old, or whether it's working with a 214-year-old Scotch whiskey producer that's the very best Scotch whiskey in the world. It doesn't matter. I want to find what makes it unique. I want to find the magic in it. And I want to allow people to understand they're doing something really good.
That is great. So as you're thinking about where you are now, what aspects are in, as a business owner and in leadership, are you working on now? And how are you challenging yourself to grow?
Every day I have to grow and I have to challenge myself because I feel like I'm not done. And I do personally feel at my advanced age that if I do give up and say, okay, I'm retired, I don't need to learn anymore, I've already learned all I really need to learn, then I think my demise has begun. So I believe that it's imperative for me to constantly grow and learn and be a better person today than I was yesterday, as imperfect as I am. So I think for me, I have to also realize that time frames are very subjective. So my idea of let's get this done now is a very different thought pattern for someone else. I want to get it done now, which you'd think being older, I would think, oh, let's take a year to do this. And I'm now going, why waste precious time if we can get this done now? I don't mean running around going crazy, but time is precious. Mm-hmm. So I look at how do I do that? And my focus is to give other people the opportunities of a lifetime. So whether it's employees at my company, I have some that are moving up to own it in the next few years. I have other folks that are being given incredible opportunities. I want to be able to be the person that supplied really great moments in other people's lives.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. And I had that song, Find the Magic in Me, as you're talking, but that was really great. Barry, I have just loved having this conversation with you. There are so many great things. How can people find you? What great things you have coming out, and where can people, find you and connect with you?
All right, there are a couple of ways they can do that. Actually, three. They can go on LinkedIn, look me up, Barry LaBov. Another thing they can do is go to my personal website, which is barrylabov.com. And you can go on there, and if you've listened to this podcast, you can go there and click and get a free PDF of the book if you want to read it. And you can get a free hardcover version of it, just paying shipping and handling, because we have to pay for that. So you can click there. The other thing you can do is go to my company's website, LaBov.com. So there are a lot of different ways. If you want to buy the paperback and get it tomorrow, go to Amazon and do it and leave a review. So there are a lot of ways, but I'm very open to communication. So I've had many reach outs from all over the world, whether it's LinkedIn or on my website, and somebody says, hey, I don't want to buy your services because I'm too small. Can I talk to you? And it's sure. So I'm happy to help.
Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. Barry, thank you so much for being a guest on this podcast, the Unstoppable Leadership Spotlight podcast, where we hear from influential leaders and their game-changing insights. And you shared some great insights today. So everybody, thank you for listening. And please go connect with Barry today, download his book, review it, and let's help him grow up too and be even better. So thank you all for listening. Have an awesome day. I'm Jaclyn Strominger, and I want to thank you so much for listening to the Unstoppable Leadership Spotlight, Influential Leaders and Their Game-Changing Insights podcast. If you are a successful CEO, entrepreneur, or leader in your industry, and you have insights you would like to share, we want you to be a guest on this program. So please visit go.leaptoyoursuccess.com/podcast. And if you have gotten something out of this interview and you'd like to share the episode on social media, just go ahead and take a screenshot with your phone and text it to a friend or post it on socials. If you know somebody who would be a great guest, please tag them on social media and let them know about the show and include the hashtag Unstoppable Leadership Spotlight. I love seeing your posts and your guest suggestions. So we regularly are putting out new episodes and content. So please make sure you don't miss any episodes and go ahead and hit subscribe. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show, and they mean so much to me and my team. You want to know more about the podcast or about Leap to Your Success? Just go to the website leaptoyoursuccess.com or follow me, Jaclyn Strominger, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Just plug in my name, Jaclyn, that's Jaclyn .Strominger, STROMINGER, and follow me on all the socials. So thank you so much for listening, and remember, be unstoppable.